like to welcome everyone that's here. I hope you feel a little more comfortable in this space rather than the board office. I felt like this would give you a little more room to participate and be a part of the meeting. First item on the agenda is our pledge. And tonight,
representing Ms. Breskel, Ms. Wagner, and Ms. Todd, our fourth graders tonight leading us in the pledge are Drake Burkett, Max Gustafson, and Hannah Kunda. So you all will come to the podium, and if you all will rise, they will whenever you're ready.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
all right, Mr. Stevens, please call roll.
Mr. Spano.
Present.
Mr. Ventures. Present. Mrs. Dahl.
Present.
Mrs. Dunaway.
Here.
Mrs. Heather.
Here.
All present and accounted for, sir.
Thank you. All right. First thing we're going to talk about is some committee reports. And basically one committee report, student achievement. And there's a couple of people here to...
So tonight, we have with us the quiz team. Their advisor is Joe Bellis. He's brought some of the quiz team members with him tonight. Please welcome Michael Vesti, Ethan Wendell, Ben Cronster, Gabe Parsons, Karsten Benj, and Cassie Sharp. And they're going to tell us about their incredible season they've had this year.
Thank you. The quiz team, we have half of us here tonight. We had 4, and then we lost somebody along the way. I guess we got lost trying to find LT ball. We recently attended the National History Bowl in B in Washington, D.C. at the end of April. Our team is all juniors this year, so we're in the varsity division. And the National History Bowl in B has been in Washington, D.C. now for 8 years. We've attended it every year. The first few years we were in it was really just a joy to be a part of it, kind of an honor to be there. And we didn't have great performances, but through a lot of hard work and dedication, we managed to increase our standing every year. A few years ago, they added a division to the competition called the Small School Public High School Division, which is what we are. Many of the schools that we compete against have 3,000 or 4,000 students, or they're magnet schools, or they're private academies like Miami Valley School, and they created something for the little guys, for the public schools. So 2 years ago, we competed in that division and we were national champions. Last year, we were in the mix, but we couldn't quite get to the championship game. This year, we got back to the championship game in the varsity. We came up just a little bit short against a school from New Jersey called Leonia High School, which is right across the river from New York City. So next year, we're going to be all seniors. We're going to be back in the hunt again for a national championship. So. They did give us a plaque for our second place finish. I'm just going to hand it to Mr. Stevens here and he can show it around. Also, on Sunday, we had one student compete in what's called the National History B. It's kind of like a spelling bee or a geography bee. You're an individual playing just for yourself, no teammates. And this year, Michael Vesti, Michael competed in the B, and out of 155 students, Michael was 50th in the entire country. And once again, we're looking forward next year to Michael being a senior and being back in the B and seeing if he can get in the top 20 or top 10, who knows. Any questions?
Students, is there anything you want to add? Tell us what you like about what's coming up with you next weekend?
Good time. You should all come out. Get your kids to come out. We always need more members. We're going to Atlanta this weekend for the National NAQT, which is a regular quiz team. So Yeah.
Do you guys think you're going to pursue history at the college level, or is this just interest right now?
Possibly.
Possibly? Yeah.
Not so much about
Michael is the big social studies guy. He likes it more than anybody else. So.
Thank you for all your time.
We're going to give you a round of applause as a send-off to your big competition.
Oh, thank you.
And we look forward to good things.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Tippecanoe Middle School teacher Dale Watkins and his students from the design thinking class. They will give us an overview of the project and the partnership they've had with Energy Optimizers.
My name is Dale Boniface. I am the design thinking teacher at the middle school, and what that is basically a problem strategy. We look at different angles at different problems, and not necessarily solve them, but think about different ways to look at those or different ways to get information about those. So this year, we start out with the Design Thinking 2 class. So all these students last year or first semester went through the class. And so we needed something to be a little bit more robust, a little bit more where they could actually impact their community. So we partnered up with Energy Optimizers and the Bring Your Green 2.0 challenge, which is provided by the Dayton Regional Green. And we have over 201 businesses and schools that are competing for all the ways that you can produce your school or even business to be green. Currently, we are first place of the 201 teams, and we have. And we still have some points to get yet for this year. So we are just going to share a little bit of what some of the teams. We have 14 teams do different activities. And these are just some of the students from those teams, and just give you just a real brief idea of what they studied and what they were able to accomplish.
Well, I'm Lewis. Hello, I'm Lewis, and today I'm engineer. Our my group's project is about creating a net zero room at TMS. So what my group has done is we've collected data about the various electronics in specifically Mr. Boniface's room. And so what we've done with that is we've found the light usage while these electronics are active and while they're not active. And what we've done with that is we determine how we can make the school more energy efficient and how we might be able to save more when it comes to its electricity. And we found this with a watt meter. What we did with that was basically we took an appliance, we plugged it out of an outlet, we plugged the watt meter in, plugged the appliance into the outlet, and then what we do is just read we plug the appliance into the watt meter, and then what we do is we read the display of the watt meter, and it would give us the wattage that it was reading at the current moment. And so it would just give the basic what that device was drawing to run. From our information that we've gathered, a lot of things can be done with that. And that comes down to replacing certain electronics and making certain changes that will allow to create net zero room in Mr. Boniface's room. And what that does is it's basically when you have the most energy efficient that is possible in a certain situation. And that is what we want to create with Mr. Boniface's room. And if we can eventually reach that, we can eventually be the whole school. And so with that, it can also help install certain energy energy sources, like alternate energy sources like solar panels, that can make a lot more environmentally safe things and a lot more energy.
I'm Amber Newborn. I'm Emma Jackson. And we research solar panels for the Green Green Challenge. So we would get the solar panels through this thing called the purchase power agreement with energy optimizers. And basically, we would have the solar panels, but we would somewhat be like renting them. So we technically don't own them, but they would be warranted for 20 years. And at the end of a 7-year term, we would have the option to buy them. And the interconnecting fee through Tipp Electric is $4 per month.
The efficiency of solar panels. Through the purchase power agreement, we would be charged 9 cents per kilowatt hour for the solar panel's energy. But through Tipp Electric, we're currently charged 11 cents, so we'd be saving 2 cents per kilowatt hour. That 2 cents saved times our current kilowatt hour daily usage, which is 510,300, we would be saving around $10,000 per year.
We get LED lights, and I'm Emma Mayberry. So switching from fluorescent lights to LED lights at TMS, the benefits of LED lights would be that they're brighter, they're less money over time, they last longer, over 50,000 to 100,000 hours. There's 75% energy is saved, students increased focus and reduced glare, and the temperature is more controlled in the room. And then they don't need a ballast, which saves money because you don't replace the ballast.
So what you're seeing on this graph over here is the total amount of money you will be saved for 10 years. As you can see, like she said, all of these starts off more expensive, but over time it begins to cost less due to you have to change the bulb. And then plus it starts off less expensive, but over time it costs more because you have to change the light and the ballast as well. And it takes about 3.5 years of you changing them. In about 10 years you will save $150,000. And then the total amount you save per year is $14,000,
Hi, I'm Natalie Brock. I'm here to talk to you today about security and energy efficiency of doors and windows. So right now, our windows are original from 1964, and they are single paned and aluminum framed. And so our option was, because they were so inefficient, we were going to invest in some low E glass. Low E glass stands for low emittance glass, so it doesn't emit as much sunlight as the glass we have now. And so to tell from this and to get our data, we used infrared guns. So here are some of our pictures we have, and you can see, like, we took this on a day where it was 32 degrees out, and you can see the blue and the green. That's where the cold air is like brushed up against the glass, and it can make it cooler inside.
I'm Ethan Biggs. I did my project on composting tumblers and rain barrels. Our rain barrels, we got our materials donated from Miami Soil and Water. We got like 6 rain barrels for the composting barrels and the tumblers. And then we got the kits to make the rain barrels. So the rain barrels, we created them, and then we didn't want these big blue barrels sitting around the school, so we decided to hold an art contest where they would paint them. And we're in the process of having them painted right now. And for our compost bins, we also had our materials donated by the Wall family and the Miami Soil and Water. And we're in the process of creating these right now too. And we're hoping to have these up and running next year. And we're going to use the waste from the cafeteria to put in the barrels to reduce the cafeteria waste.
I'll just say this real quick. Nobody can make it from this team, but they are working on the courtyard. If you know the old high school, the middle school, courtyard's been a mess. So they have been working there, making raised flower beds in the courtyard, which we were just putting together today, and I think we'll finish it up on Wednesday. So basically just trying to, and then use that for either the needy baskets during the summertime, or also supply our kitchen with some fresh fruits for actually the students during the school season. And I'm trying to think what else. Obviously help the air quality. A lot of students have bonded. We've had a lot of students over their Red Devil period come in and work and do community service as well, helping to get that all organized. And then we also have environmental class that was created last year from our design thinking students. And so our environmental class students have been out there as well helping us prepare, and then they'll be using that for their research and development over the next couple of years.
So I'm Grace Spring, and our project was trees. We had some tree information. We planted trees outside the school in the area. It's like by the drive. Jane and Ann Magnolia trees we planted were 15 by 15 feet tall and wide. The two yellowwood trees were 20 to 25 feet and 15 to 20 feet wide. The trees have to grow about 15 feet apart because of the roots, and the trees will be surrounded by mulching for lots of shrubs. So those are just pictures of what we planted. On the left is what they will be when they're fully grown, and on the right is what we've done so far.
Why did they do it?
We planted 2 trees in memory of Mrs. Drexler and Miss Hansman. So we're working on finishing those and we should be finished by the end.
Just real quickly, I wanted to thank Dr. Kump because she actually connected me with the energy optimizers in this Go Green Challenge. So that's been just very helpful. Mr. Southers and Ms. Lavercombe has just been great to work with, and they've been, you know, sure, we'll let you do that, and sure, you can do that. And just the staff at our school for just the countless hours I've been pulling the students out during Red Devil period to get everything lined up and all those kinds of things. Art Huff and Donnie Bryan have been excellent to work with, as obviously we've been trying to clean things up, and we need a lot of extra materials. And like I said, we went to a lot of the community members, and a lot of the one team, Grayson for the trees, collected over $500 from our local community to plant the trees and get that. So they also fundraise in order to do their project as well. So, and then like I said, Mr. Koopman in environmental science class has been very supportive of us, and we kind of worked in a team with them as well.
Okay, next item on the agenda is our superintendent and assistant superintendent report.
Yeah, thank you. It's great. It's exciting to see what they come up with, isn't it? Just going to highlight a little bit about, first, our prom 2017 and the end of the year events. There was a prom with our senior class and their guest, and that was April, juniors and seniors. That was April 21st, and their theme was Neverland. That was followed by Parents Who Care, and after prom, the scene 75, and just was a safe and wonderful evening, and our students did a great job. They looked beautiful and handsome, but ultimately they had a good time. And I really appreciate Parents Who Care, who really go the extra mile to support our students and provide a safe environment for them for the after prom. Just some upcoming events as we close the end of the year. We have reading banquets, we have student talent shows, and we also have field days. So those are fun days, and open up the weather polls. They usually have a projected date, and then they have a rain date. So with the spring weather, you never know exactly which one you're going to hit. May 24th is the Senior Community Service Day. And so Troy, Dayton, and the organizations here at Tipp extend an open arm to our students, and it's prearranged, and they go and help with community service in those areas. So it's a great day for our seniors. On May 25th, we'll be having our college and career signing. That will take place at the high school. And the high school has invited our 8th grade students over to be part of that, and then there'll be a pep rally at the end. And then on May 26th is graduation for our seniors. That will be at the high school gymnasium, and that's at 7 p.m. And then on the 31st, that is the last day of school for our students. We will have a 2-hour early dismissal, and then at 2:30, all of our staff will come actually gather here at LT Ball for staff recognition and celebration. And once again, those that are retiring, we take a moment and really honor all of our retirees. So that's coming up, and that makes for a busy next couple of weeks. All right, next item will be personnel, and Mr. G, I'll let you take that.
Okay, tonight we'd like to welcome 3 new teachers to the Tipp City family. We have 2 of them here. We'll introduce Joel Slyman first. He is a Tipp grad, and he has been in Oklahoma. He is not here. He's still teaching in Oklahoma, but I think he'll be moving back soon. So we'd like to welcome Joel Slyman. He'll be teaching PE at the middle school. And then next we have Angela Mack. And Angela is here. She's a Grace College grad, and she's going to be teaching 5th grade English language arts and science. So, Angela, come.
I'm very thankful for this opportunity to teach at this wonderful school. I grew up in this area. I attended Miami East High School all my life. Graduated in 2014, went to Grace College, graduated in 2017. This past year I've been teaching in Warsaw, Indiana, and I'm thrilled, could not be more excited about coming back to this area. I've always felt very connected with the community, Miami County, and just very excited to be coming back. Thank you.
Thanks, Angela. And next we have teaching 4th grade, and she comes from Van Wert, I believe. He's got a little bit of experience. So Craig Seifert, and we'll let him introduce himself.
Hi there, as he said, Craig Seifert, come from Van Wert. I graduated from Ohio State in 2008 with my bachelor's, 2009 with my master's. 9 years of teaching experience. My wife Chelsea is originally from here. That's what brings us back, Chelsea Putnam. We have 2 boys, a 3-year-old Cooper and a 1-year-old Kaysen. So that's another reason we're really excited to get those boys in Tipp. So we're really excited about that. Thank you.
All right, and I'm going to say we are so pleased to have you here this evening, and we look forward to having you in the classrooms. I'm going to allow you to step away if you would like, and I always say go out, celebrate, have some ice cream, because I think we've got a long meeting in store tonight. So thank you for being here. I'm going to move on to a little bit of a highlight about our strategic planning. We met on May the 17th, just last Thursday. It was a work session for the board. We're working with Dr. Jane Dockery. She's from Wright State University. And we have just completed a survey with our administrative team. We're taking it now to the next step where we're working on strategic questions. We'll have 3 questions for each of our 4 pillars. And that will be rolled then out to our teachers. That's being compiled right now, and that should be coming out to our teachers. They will be able to start completing the survey May 29th through the 31st, and we really appreciate our staff taking the time to do that before they head out. We're trying to make it a survey that takes no longer than 10 minutes to complete, knowing that everybody's quite busy this time of the year, but that will allow us time then to get your information in for strategic planning, and then we'll work with that over the summer months, and definitely then begin implementing those ideas as we move into August and begin with the school year. So look forward to that, and look forward to our teachers' input on that. And any of our chairs or co-chairs things they want to add about strategic planning before I move on? Good. All right, facilities update, and I'm going to just pass that torch over to Mr. Pfister for a moment.
Okay, not much has changed since my last update to you guys last week. Stadium is progressing very well. The sub base should be done tomorrow or Wednesday, and at that point they turn over to Oaks, the turf provider. We expect to start seeing turf actually go down yet this week. It's still on schedule to be done in plenty of time for the season, and so we're really excited with how that moving forward. And then the renovations, as you saw my update last week as well, lots of meetings going on, lots of planning, lots of coordination, trying to get all the various contractors in, get them through the building so they're all comfortable with their aspects of the job. The electrical contractor is actually starting today. They're at the middle school. We're working 12-hour shifts this week and probably next week to try to get ahead of the game. As everything that's going in depends on we have a large meeting on Thursday. All of the contractors will be with us starting at 3 o'clock at the middle school. One final get together with everybody, going through the plans, making sure everybody's on the same page and ready to go.
Thank you, Gary. So our students gave us this fantastic report about how much money we're going to save with all these improvements that you're going to do here, right?
That's cool.
All right.
It is interesting, several things that they were highlighting, such as that LED lighting, as well as the new doors and windows will be of help, and I do believe we'll be collecting data on just how much money we're saving from that. It'll be, and it will make the learning environment so much more comfortable, absolutely. Moving up now to math.
And just a quick overview, we have, tonight we're just looking at K-5, but I want to venture into just this grade for just a second because we did pilot the Go Math all year. We had good success with that, and we did evaluate several others. You'll see some graphs there. And I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Souter in just a second. And so we are still looking to make sure we get the final for the 7th through 12th algebra, geometry, and what we're getting in the high school. But our quotes are coming in at a very good spot for us, and we are well within budget, so we're excited about that. And so the K-5 math, I'm going to let Mrs. Souter, who was on the committee, she's going to talk to you, really identifying Go Math as our choice and why we've stayed with that. And also moved it to the 6-8 unless you are a student taking algebra or geometry.
We did feel one reason that we wanted to adopt Go Math K-8 was because of the common language moving from kindergarten to 1st grade to 2nd grade and on through rather than jumping around. We thought that was an important part. We did pilot Go Math for a full year. Oak Mifflin was really kind to give us all the materials, all the manipulatives, and all the teachers, even those not on the committee, had access to the online portion and were able to use and try it out. I know at my grade level, a lot of the 1st grade team members tried out the new tests and found it to be really reflective of what students are asked to do on the statewide tests, so we thought that was really good. It does align completely with our state standards as well, and we really enjoy using it. We felt like the students were asked to explain and discuss more how they would do something. Instead of answering a multiple choice test, they had a box where they had to draw and explain. Our students at the time were 1st grade teachers, so they had to draw a picture of what they did. Lots of times they would use little captions and arrows to point to me what they would do, but they knew to get all the points, they would have to fully explain what they were doing on the test. To practice, the kids would hold up whiteboards and they would write and explain their answer, and then they would share it with a partner and they'd write and explain their answer, and they talk about how both strategies could come up with the same result. So it was very good. We did visit other schools that used Go Math and also visited other schools that used other programs. We went to a vendor fair where we examined other programs, but we looked at data and we found that we felt like Go Math was going to best fit our needs. And also noticed that a lot of schools were adopting Go Math and had very good experiences with it as well. So, I did bring some materials here. This is the 1st grade, does have a practice book, and one of the nice features of the practice book, after we do a lesson, we practice together, then it follows up with a paper that goes home to parents that mimics the lesson we had that day. So parents can choose. I didn't require my parents to do this, but they could do that homework page and practice additionally. Also, the students have online access to the program, and parents do as well. Teachers do also. We have a teacher's manual, but you can get online and get the lesson that way too. So I thought it was really good, user-friendly. All my team at Nevin Copic, well, both grade levels were enthusiastic about adopting it. It also was, we've been using GoMap the past 7 years, so this was an easy transition for us, even to going to the new program as well.
Any questions?
Very good, thank you.
And just, one of our goals really was to make math thinkers and not just math doers. That was kind of our thought all the way through, because that's what we wanted our materials to do, is to really create thinkers out of kids. Starting at kindergarten and first grade, that's why they don't just get to do a whole page of problems. They have to explain and think through that. And it is when we adopted this the first time, it was a pretty big change. It was and we want to see that systemic change all the way through our grades, K through 12. So that's where we are with that, and we'll have the final thing with the high school in the next meeting.
Thank you, Mrs. Sam. Next, I just want to talk a little bit about, what's the question? I wanted to highlight just a little bit about our potential with our high school positions that we're talking about. First, that would be the theater position, the justification of that, of adding a halftime position for our theater, and then as well as looking at our ESL about increasing that to a full-time position. And so just wanted to just have some discussion this evening. I've provided some information in our whiteboard updates, but just kind of highlighting a little bit that right now we, in our ESL program, we actually serve 11 languages across anywhere from 42 to 46 students. So that has grown, and the number of languages, I think, for our size of district is pretty astounding, actually. And we've had 4 students this year that actually came with no English. And so that's a whole challenge in itself when they come with no English at all. So that's a lot of support that's needed in the classroom for that teacher that's working with that student the full day, and then knowing that our ESL teacher and or if we can have some support systems which we needed to have in this particular case at just additional time. We did have full-time ESL in the year 2014 and 15. And then we began, because there was a larger pocket of students that moved up through, and so there was a large group that were being served at the English at the high school. And so Mrs. B, who had been our ESL teacher for a number of years, and she's an amazing person, she had a dual certification. She had the English language arts for high school level as well as the ESL. So it made it a perfect match so that she could provide the English language arts at the high school, enabling them to earn their graduating credits needed, and then also serve as the ESL teacher. But as our needs grow, and even when we have situations like the students coming in with zero language, it is hard to provide the service that we need for those students. So that's something that we really want to take a close look at. I know that Mrs. B, is now a full-time English language arts at the high school. She's loving that position, but part of that, I think, impetus for her to really look about engaging in that opportunity as opened up was that question about was she serving her ESL students as much as she really would like to, that you become incredibly thin when you're doing 2 areas, and she knew she'd be full-time there in the English department. And since then, we were actually at one time down to 34 students, but we are up to the 42, 46 range, so we are growing in that area, and so the need as well is growing. Just also wanted to mention that we just had some data that, our teacher, our ESL Crystal Bruce, who does a great job, that, there's those times that you need to do parent conferences, and with her teaching at the high school, sometimes those parent conferences can conflict with that, and so that makes kind of stress and strain because she feels the obligation with her high school class, and she also feels a need to be with in a parent conference with those parents. Also, just additional hours in order to do the preparations. I had that highlighted when I was going to do that. It was just the number of, she has 2 high school preps, 30 ESL differentiation lessons, and another 50-minute prep that she does on a weekly basis. So that's quite a bit of preparation to have ready to go each week. Any questions on ESL before I move on?
So she's traveling through the district to serve all the ESL students?
Yes, her, and then we had Mrs. Hernandez that helped with the 4 students that had no English, just to give them some additional time. Because with her traveling, a student in ESL gets about 25 minutes a week, and they need more. Many of them need more. And I will say, though, that it's amazing how they do soar, and they're immersed in the language, how much they grow, but we do feel the need to provide more support for them.
This is 43 full-time students?
Yes.
Year-round?
Yeah. Full year. Yeah. And we do have a population of the migrant students, but not as much as we used to. They come and they seem to stay in the area, so they will stay in the school.
So Mrs. B is our ESL, or
No,
she's not?
Mrs. B is not. Mrs. B was for a number of years. Mrs. B, because she has the dual certification, there was an opening at the high school in the English language arts,
So now
and she
she's
moved into a
full-time.
full-time position there. She's been a tremendous resource for Mrs. Luce.
And so then now we have one full-time ESL currently, or?
We have a half-time ESL,
Where?
half-time English language arts
Who's
at the
that?
high school. Mrs. Crystal Luce, LUC. Yeah. So that kind of,
Her time is coming out of the English language arts area to fulfill a part-time obligation to English as a second language.
yes, yes.
We also have, I've received some feedback from parents about the drama department, and that a English language arts teacher is also part-time teaching technical design and support in that area.
Right, so that's kind of the next piece I wanted to highlight. So with our, the aspect of looking at the theater production piece, we do have English language arts and a teacher that is helping to serve in that area, but we're also seeing that as individuals, we all have expertise, and we have in the past and continue to strive for just this amazing theater program within our district. And so with that, we actually have a number of students. We've got 4 here that Mr. Sabona had provided me that actually have theater production majors in college. One is a professional stage manager, another is a production stage manager, and a professional lighting designer. So that's 4 of our graduates. We've got 2 currently in theater. One is in lighting, technical theater, and that's at the University of Cincinnati, and another one is at stage management and technical theater, and that's also the University of Cincinnati. So we want to make sure that we maintain a strong theater program that provides all aspects. And so part of the aspect right now that we're seeing some diminish in our enrollment happens to be the acting studies. We've had 36 this year, and just in 16-17 we had 74, so that's quite a change. Theater design and production, we have 18 this year, but that's all that actually enrolled or signed up for it, and in 16-17 we had 24 students, and 34 of them were applicants that didn't even get into the class. So we are seeing a shift and change there, and so we are looking at someone that have an expertise that might draw that back up for that focus. It also would allow us then for the English position that's there. If the ESL becomes a full-time position, truly we're just hire one half-time position and allow both of these functions to occur. Because part of what Mrs. Luce is doing would be absorbed in by our present English department and this group that would also have the English faculty theater. I know it sounds kind of complicated, but it's interesting. It does fit together.
So there's not like a teaching license for acting studies and public speaking, is there?
No, it'd be in the liberal arts, and it would be in theater production. You can help me, Mr. Savon.
There is a K-12 theater licensure, but those courses can also be taught by integrated language.
So you would look for somebody with like a language arts license, or even?
Well, that's what we did. That's what we've done before. I think one of our primary goals, Mr. Bearhoff would be able to look, would be making sure we had some of the technical aspects of theater covered again, as well as an individual who's also comfortable with the performance and production habits.
So sometimes we hire out the theater productions, don't we? So would that stop?
For the supplementals, and that would probably depend upon who that person is who's teaching.
Correct. So this would be teaching the actual theatrical production course during the school day. There are a number of supplementals that are related to the spring musical and the fall play, the one act that this person can also have the opportunity to pursue. We would hope that they would pursue. It's kind of like when you have a football coach, it's kind of nice to have them teaching in the building. Same thing with the theater program.
So stakeholders have told me that they're concerned that there's not a presence of someone teaching and heading up the whole drama program. Would you like to speak to that?
Yeah, I think that the football example is a great example of that. When you've got a head football coach that's in the building that leads the program. We don't have something like that right now for our theater program. We've been fortunate that we've found someone who worked at Northmont for a number of years in their theater program that has directed our fall play and our spring musical. She's a retired person and is not going to be around forever. So with what we did last year with the halftime English position and trying to find someone to teach acting studies and theatrical productions and hopefully try to groom them into being that person, it just didn't work out. We were trying to put a Band-Aid on something that needed stitches. You're not going to replace someone of the caliber of Jim Sagona, but you can work to try and someone who's close to that. And it's a tricky puzzle because, as Mr. Sagona pointed out, you've got the theatrical production side of things and then also the performance side of things. And typically, those aren't two things that pair well together. Usually, you've got someone whose strengths are behind the scenes and doesn't want to be out on stage, and vice versa. So it would be a difficult position to fill, but making it a standalone position as opposed to combining that with English or language arts at least opens up the opportunity to explore other options, as Mr. Governor pointed out, with that K-12 license that's out there.
Thank you for your help on that. So I think that wraps up the superintendent, assistant superintendent's reports, unless there are any questions.
Okay, we're at the point of the meeting where we get citizens' comments. These are comments that the citizens can address to the board. This is a one-way communication. It's not two-way dialogue. The board will not be responding. You'll have to address. We also will limit the comments to 5 minutes for that address to the board. I have 4 folks that signed up for citizen comments. I'll take them in order. Heidi Silvers.
Good evening. My friends and colleagues out there know that this is the hard part for me because I'm great with kids and still work with them. And I don't speak well in front of adults, but in my heart, I know that this is a good reason to be here. Again, I'm Heidi Silvers. I worked at Broadway in kindergarten and third grade for many years with some of the best people I see out there smiling at me. And tonight I'm addressing my remarks to a great friend and a boss that I had at Broadway, Galen Gingrich. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. And that's who Galen is to me. He started out as a science teacher when I first met him at Bethel. And he was great fun and a great teacher. And I don't think he set out to be the leader that he is today. but sometimes leaders set out to make a difference in students, and they affect parents and teachers' lives as well. It was never about the role for Galen. It was always about the goal of Broadway. One of my friends said tonight, it was always kids first at our building. And that's why people always said, you're the best building. And we were a team. And we gave our kids kindergarten through to 3rd grade, sometimes it was through 6th grade, right, Linda? The best education, the best elementary education we could for the dollar. We had freezing rooms, we still do. I need that green team to come back and fix my room for Katie Stout. We gave them the best punch for their dollar, best public school. I know one time in 3rd grade, all our kids passed the math proficiency. Mr. Ziegler ran over in a rainstorm and said, I wish I could take you all to lunch and give you raises, but I just came over to tell you. And we were so excited. My friends are sitting out there tonight. Heather Bledsoe, Susan Clodfelder, and many more. And even our gym teachers helped us tutor, like Jan Green, and Linda Harris would help us with our Spanish-speaking kids, and we were always a team because kids were first there. And a true leader has the confidence to stand alone, the courage to make tough decisions every day, and the compassion to listen to their needs. Galen always listened to the students, but probably more than that, even their parents. At times when we were exhausted as teachers, he would always take the last call and listen to a parent complain or say something positive about us. And that's a true leader when you're really exhausted. He became a leader because of his equality of his actions and his integrity and his character and all the things he stands for. He's a champion of kids, a true teacher, a community member, and a friend to many of us in this room. He always led by action and example, not by his title. Still today, as an assistant superintendent, he is more known for in our community as a Christian man, a loving father, a great spouse, a great assistant superintendent, I think, the best principal ever at Broadway. People called him the beloved one, devoted. He made us look good, and I think as a team we made him look good. He was an educator first, and still is, a man of character and integrity, a great community member in this area, and I'm so proud to call him my friend. And I urge you, deeply urge you to look at the body of his work over 30 years because that alone stands for itself. He's made a difference in my life, my children's lives. I looked at my grandchildren today and thought, I wish he was still there when Paisley enters school in a year or a year and a half because we always put kids first. He's helped me in my life with personal issues and always backed me like my husband and kids have. And he's helped so many kids, too numerous to count, in this school district. He always put kids first, and he always put his staff first. Thank you.
Tim Silvers.
And I have to follow that. My name's Tim Silvers. I'm better known as Mrs. Silver's husband for the last 33 years. And obviously, as all of you I think know, I didn't have Galen or anyone here as a boss. I'm not a professional educator. I've learned a lot over the years from that one, a lot of good things. And we've been in this school district for, how old is Hillary? Lost track, 25 years? 25 years. We've stayed here because of the community, because of the community support, because of what the leadership has done, over the years. And so I'm here not to give a lot of information necessarily about anyone sitting up here on the stage, but I'm here to say a warm felt thank you to one particular person who helped out my family in a tough time. And that's what friends do. We help out each other in tough times. So I'd like to just share this information, and I'd like to ask everyone just to relax, close your eyes if you want, and listen, if you would. Please just listen. Imagine a friend comes to you for advice. You only have a minute to make a difference, because rattling on and endless babble never seems to work. As with any powerful message, short and sweet is usually the key. And so, the best advice for us, friends, may simply consist of a few words along the guide paths of providing a new perspective, motivating for a fresh start, inspiring to continue dreams that can create brighter futures. And so, in short and sweet fashion, hopefully I'll stay within 5, I offer these thoughts to you today. Number 1, stop waiting. Go. You don't have to wait to be discovered. You don't have to wait to be okay. You don't have to wait for someone else to help you. You can try to do whatever you want to do right now. All of us can. That's the power of choice. You may not succeed, but you don't have to wait. Don't wait. Move ahead. Key. As long as your dreams, goals, and actions are aimed at and motivated by the vision of improvement, the improvement of others' lives, the improvement of children's lives, the improvement of a community. Number 2, tell someone who really needs to hear it, I'm sorry. We all make mistakes. Can I see the hands? Thank you. We all have things we need to apologize for, words we've said, actions we've taken, omissions that we've forgotten, failing to step up, failing to step in, failing to show support. So say you're sorry. Even if it's been years since you let that person or persons down. Refrain from following your apology with any disclaimers, though. Statements that in any way place may even the smallest amount of blame be blamed back to the other persons. That's not necessary. Say you're sorry. Say why you're sorry. And take all the blame. No less, no more. Because when you do that, all parties get to make the freshest of freshest starts. Point number 3. Think of the word love as a verb. There are people you love. However, when you're with them, does the feeling show in everything you say and do? Love is a feeling. Yet love should also be an action. Actively love the people you love. Show them you love them by words and deeds.
Jim, time's up.
I'm going to finish out the last section, because we're going to be here long anyway. Every day, take a moment to feel good about how far you've come. You have big plans, you have big goals, you're never satisfied because satisfaction breeds complacency. So most of the time, we're unhappy because we think about what we have not achieved, what we have not done, what we have not had. But what about the things we have done correctly and that we have done? Take a moment, Tipp City Schools, Board of Education, and community, and think about what you do have right now, professionally and personally. Thank you very much.
Floyd Purvis.
Good evening, everybody. Just show of hands out there. How many of you have read the board policy book, handbook? Page to page, cover to cover. Good. Okay, Dr. Cobb, Stevens, I'd like to thank you for enforcing the board policies. I appreciate it. Okay. Now, I've sent a letter today requesting information, and the response that I received regarding the accounts in the Broadway building was simply, you couldn't give me statements of the accounts.
Couldn't give you the totals.
The totals. And what I would like, I'm making a request right now to instruct the treasurer to secure these bank statements and make them part of the public record so they can be accessed. This money was given with a charitable contribution to the school for the benefit of our students. And we should be able to follow the money. Money goes to sleep every night and it wakes up some other place in the morning. And you owe the people in this district that right. So please instruct the treasurer to find a way to make this a public record. Thank you.
Todd Barble.
Hi, everyone. All right. Speaking on behalf of the Barble family, I thought there'd be about 50 people speaking tonight, so I'll keep this real short. My brothers and I, Jeff and Greg, were born and raised in this community. We all graduated from here. We had kids go through school here. And when I think of Tipp City Schools, I think of Mr. G. Always greets everyone with a smile, respect. The kids adore him. Loved by all kids, and isn't that really what it's all about? Quick story of a 5-year-old, maybe 6, that one day was playing on the Broadway playground. And something happened. Slipped and fell, cut his eye open pretty good. And Mr. G went and picked him up and knew where his aunt lived, which was about down the road on Broadway. Picked him up, bloody hands, carried him to his aunt's house and made sure that he had got the proper care. I don't know too many people who would do that. And that kid just got married this weekend. And that kid was my son, Holden. Someone in my family said if they would ever get rid of Mr. G, what a sad day that would be. I won't say my sister-in-law's name, but the quote was, "Don't even think to ask me to vote for another levy if that happens." it should always be about the kids. And somewhere along the way, it's gotten away from that. And it's turned into a lot of politics and a lot of drama.
Amen.
We need to have more teachers and more administrators like Mr. G, because he is the exact type of person that we want representing this great community. Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on the agenda. Thank you folks for your comments tonight. We appreciate them. Appreciate you being here tonight. Appreciate the support that you showed for Galen as well as for the district. All of that is very important. And we will definitely, we hear you that you're here and have said what you said. The district is in my opinion, in a better place because of Galen is here. But I also will say that there has been mistakes here, and we need to recognize that there has been mistakes. And that's what's happened here. It's not to take away from what Galen has done for this district. And again, I appreciate it. He taught my kids. He always has had a special place in my heart and in this district. So again, thank you for being here. Moving on, minutes. We have several copies of minutes. April 9th, April 18th. May 7th and May 17th. We can take them one at a time or we can take them all at once. What's the pleasure of the board? All at once. Okay, so I'm looking for a motion to approve all the minutes that were presented tonight for approval. I have a motion and a second. Do I have any corrections to those minutes?
Yes. I already called it.
Who was the second?
I was the second. Sorry, what was there was a typo.
There was an and, there should have been an and.
Typo in the last one. Okay, it's May 17th, under discussion, under discussion items, letter A. Mrs. Doherty went over an example of a pillar, sample pillar, climate and culture is misspelled, and I think it's supposed to be goals, it says boards.
Yep.
That was the only typo, content was fine.
Any other corrections? All right, please call roll based on those corrections being added to the, or made to the minutes.
Mr. Ventures? Yes. Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes. Those minutes are approved. Next item is treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Dave, do you want to?
All right. Are there any questions that I might be able to answer first before I go into this? Okay. Tipp City's doing well. We are following our budget, especially in the largest two items, the benefits and salary. Again, we're less than a % off from the budget for both lines there. We did see this month being the highest month of interest earnings that we've seen in a long, long, long time. It's wonderful. It helps us to fill gaps that we might have in other places. It was a pretty standard month, really. There was nothing exciting, nothing unusual. As you can see from the comments, it was pretty short. The only thing to note was that in 2016, 3 years ago, it was a 3-pay period month. Happened twice a year, so that was the only large variance. Any other questions?
Call roll, please.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes. Treasurer's report is approved. The next item is appropriations, fiscal year 2018 amended appropriations. I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Motion second, myself and Joe Ellen.
So in the appropriations report that you have in front of you, we're just seeing some small changes here and there, mostly due to local grant funds coming in or some principals fundraisers that were being done. The largest item you will see, though, however, is I have asked for the board later in this meeting to approve a $300,000 transfer from the general fund to within the general fund, but only it will be the MAC curriculum account code. We would like to do the transfer first so that we're ready to spend the money in July, so we don't have to rush in July to approve the transfer and spend the money. We need to be able to do those POs as soon as the July 1st hits. So that's the only large number we have there. Any other questions?
Those are going to be in a separate motion. They're not part of this appropriations, correct?
Pardon?
Those are going to be in a separate motion.
The budget is approved here. The approval to actually transfer the money will be in the second item, yes.
Right. Any discussion on the appropriation amendments? Call roll, please.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
That motion is approved. So here's transfers.
Speak of the devil.
Need a motion?
I'll motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second, Corinne and Teresa.
I'm presenting every year the district has school children that qualify as economically disadvantaged. We waive all school fees for those children, and we receive a small amount of state funding. It nowhere near covers the amount that we waive, but I do like to fund the 009 accounts, which are our school fee accounts for the principals. I do like to put some money back into those accounts for what we've funded for those students. And so those are these transfers here. And then I also have the transfer for the math curriculum fund of $300,000. These are the two that I'm looking for today.
Any questions or discussion? Call roll, please.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
That motion is approved. Next item is the 5-year forecast. For a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Teresa and Corinne.
Are there any questions that I can answer up front before I go into some changes from our previous forecast? No. All right. I'd just like to call everybody's attention to page 2 of the forecast. This basically sums up what we're looking at here in this forecast versus the one that was presented to the board back in October of 2017. One, the numbers have been updated to actual dollar amounts received plus whatever we think we'll have left in our budget. I've been able to update the tax revenues based on actual county certification that occurred at the beginning of this year. We do have state foundation reports that got updated enrollment numbers, including special ed and our open enrollment, outgoing enrollment to community schools and such. Those are in there. And the biggest item, we now have a tentatively agreed contract with the teachers union over the next 3 years, and all of the negotiated salary increases and such have been included in this 5-year forecast. And I have also included the anticipated classified and administrative increases that we'll be proving later tonight are also included in this forecast. And also the changes that we've seen in the operating transfers and advances that will be done for the curriculum expenditures, and also the earlier approved advances from the general fund to the permanent improvement fund for the turf project, which we will receive $75,000 repayment every year for the next 9 years or so until that advance is paid back. The overall good news is that we have a positive cash balance, operating cash balance, all the way through fiscal year 22. However, I will point out that fiscal year 21 and 22, we will, if we do not renew the 5-year emergency levy that was passed in May of 2015, we will lose our funding faster, and we will certainly see come close to a loss in 2023. That's just a quick estimate. I didn't run those numbers, but if you follow the trends, that's what it looks like. Also, while 2018 and 2019 will have positive cash flow with our revenues exceeding expenditures, 2020 will be the first year where we see revenues not exceeding expenditures. But this is normal for a school district in its operations. We are a levy cycle entity, and that's what you expect to see. But I will say that if you look at this document, the last emergency levy where we were asking for new money was in 2015, and that was a 5-year levy, and we will be able to go out for the next 7 years. If we can renew that money, that's great, and if we can't, we will go over 7 years without asking for new money for operations from the district. So that's my 5-year forecast. It will be placed online, and it will be reported to the state Ohio Department of Education by the end of this month. It will be available for review. If anybody has any questions, feel free to call my office. Any other questions? Thank you.
Call roll, please.
Mrs. Dunaway.
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl.
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly.
Yes.
Mr. Spano.
Yes.
Mr. Benton.
Yes.
That motion is approved.
Thank you.
All right, old business? Any old business? New business?
Item A, approval to accept the following resignations as per the agenda.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, Andy and Joe Ellen. Any discussion? Call roll, please.
Mr. Ventures.
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly.
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl.
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway.
Yes.
Mr. Spano.
Yes, that motion is approved.
Item B, approval of non-employment to the 2018-19 school year, and that notice of intent to not be employed and given to the following classified employees: Melissa Lang and Carly Pye.
Motion?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, Corinne and Joe Ellen. Any discussion?
I'd like to say that both of these ladies are doing a fine job. It's just a matter of, in special education, we always make sure that we don't overstaff until we know what our student population is for the next year. We're going to even 1 or 2 students out of district, depending on the need of the support for aides, determines whether that service is or is not needed. And both of these ladies were one-on-one promised, but they understand that. As soon as we know if their need is to return, we will contact them.
Questions? Call roll, please.
Give me 1 moment. Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
That motion is approved.
Item C, approval of the Tipp City Exempted Village Schools and TCEA updated master agreement effective August 1st, 2018 till July 31st, 2021.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
The second. Teresa? Any questions or discussion?
I'd like to say that TCEA did ratify that on May 16th.
Agreement's pretty sound agreement. It's part of the negotiating committee. Both sides worked very well together. It did take a number of sessions to get through. A lot of talk about some language that we all agreed upon, and then of course the salary rates that did fit in the 5-year forecast in our budget to carry our levies, make sure that they lasted that period of time that they're in place. Any other comments or questions? Call roll, please.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
That motion is approved.
Item D, approval of the Tipp City Exempted Village Schools and TCA Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, dated May 18, 2018, for the 2017-18 supplemental salary schedule to increase the high school department coordinators from 7 to 8.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second for Corinne and Joellen.
What's the added one?
Actually, this is what I would call a housekeeping error. There are 8 people that have been serving in that capacity, and somehow that working up of that, the supplemental, it'll be set 7, so 8 served, and we made sure in the new contract it was increased to 8, so that the newest contract that you just have approved will be correct, and we need to correct this one from last year that was an oversight to make sure that all 8 individuals would be able to be paid.
Any other discussion or questions? Call roll, please.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
That motion is approved.
Item E, approval of the salary schedules for the 2018-19 school year for administrative, classified, and substitute staff.
I'll make the motion.
I'll defer to second. I'll second.
Motion and a second. Myself and Andy.
I would like to say that I think we can do better than just dealing with this at a yearly situation. I was just briefly getting on school websites and looking to see how they compensate their administrators and how they have them on schedules. I would like to say that I think that we can come up with schedules for our administrators that will fairly compensate them, that we don't have to try to invent what we're doing with them every year, and they can know what to expect from us, and we can be more fair in how we compensate. And I just think that we should do this instead of just yearly looking at this and deciding year to year what to do and how to compensate.
I'd be very open to that.
And this schedule, though, that we're approving today is not just administrators. This is every staff person all the way.
Right.
So, I mean, we'll make sure that we understand that we're not just approving administrators.
Right. Well, I'm just talking about administrators.
Well,
I know
that's
that
what I
are
thought you were
certified.
talking about.
Right, because I know that the other people do have salary schedules. Our administrators have a range, and I don't think that that's fair to them. Nobody else in our district is a range, and they don't know what to expect. They can't plot out their future here. And I think that we can easily say, okay, well, let's move administration to decide, we'll approve the schedules for the other one, and we can work, the summer's coming, we can work to come up with something really fair, highly reflective of the quality of administrators that we have.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Corinne. We want to encourage our administrators to do what's best for the district, and, you know, at the end of the day, how have you improved your building? And that needs to be reflected in the salary. If you're not improving your building, you're not improving the quality of education of the students, that should be reflected in your pay.
Well, yeah, and like literally like a schedule. I mean, I printed some out, just like what we do for our teachers. They can go, okay, in 10 years, what can I look forward to making? In 5 years, if I get my master's, where am I going to be? I think that it's fair to offer the same to our administrators.
Yeah, and also, they shouldn't all be the same. The ones that have more responsibility should be compensated for that.
Right, depending on your days of service. And
days,
just like, yeah. And it's not like this is a new thing, that this is what a lot of good districts do so we can retain our good staff.
Right, we want to encourage them, keep them.
So that's what I'm suggesting, that we approve the other one, we move administrative to the side, we continue to work on them.
We're not going to be able to get that done before the next year starts. That's a very deeply involved process. And that's just my 2 cents.
We need to have schedules in place at one time.
We could definitely have something in place for next year, as well as hoping to maybe look at all staff positions in the district. That is a salary and compensation survey that is a large undertaking and requires a third party.
Well, I think it's worth it, I really do.
I do too.
I'd just like to add, are all the reviews completed with the administrators, and are they all eligible?
No, they are not. I have 2 that are outstanding at this time, and they both need to be met this week. And neither one would be a surprise. They both accomplished with. Just have not last week.
So the preferred practice would be to have those completed, and then report to the board of their eligibility before we agree on compensation.
And again, the agenda at this time is salary schedules. We are not approving salary increases.
Correct.
Right now.
Just how we do the schedules.
This is just the schedules. So, back to administration. The salary schedules need to be in place at what point for next season, next year?
Before August 1st.
Before August 1st.
That's the first day of the contracts for the administrators.
If we were going to remove the administrative salary schedules from this package, which can be done with an amendment, we need to have the salary schedules in place by August 1st of this year.
Think we can do that, Dave?
Not with everything else that has to be done now.
Okay. So can we make a goal for next year?
That's what I said earlier, yes. It could be
Okay.
something that can be done. It'll be a salary compensation survey, which will take a third party in about 7 months.
Well, we don't have to do a survey. There's other ways we can do it.
Well, if you want to compare our district with other districts and determine where our
Well, I'm
administrators
just saying,
fall.
like, we can sit down and talk with our administrators, grab schedules from other districts that are on, I mean, we could get a third party to do it. That's a lot of money.
Yes, it
We
is.
could figure
It's
it
a
out
huge
ourselves.
undertaking.
Right.
Which is not normally done in a little office with one person.
We can meet with our administrators, I think, and come up with something fair with them.
Well, my recommendation at this point is to let's approve the salary schedules we have here, move forward with this, and we will take an action to work with the administration on producing new salary schedules in a different format if that's the desire of the board for next year. So based on that, any other questions or comments?
I guess I just would like to clarify, when I said I was open to the dialogue, I was thinking about future, because I didn't know it's a big undertaking.
Call roll, please.
As stands? Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Venters? Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Motion approved. Certified.
Sorry, Mike. All right, this is up to item F, certified new hires, approval to employ the following as certified teachers on a limited contract for the 2018-19 school year, pending proper certification and paperwork. That says Amanda, but it should be Angela. Is this Amanda? Okay, Matt, Joel Slyman, and Craig Simon.
Make the motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Joellen and Corinne. Any discussion, comments? Met two of those people tonight. Call roll, please.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Venters?
Yes.
That motion is approved.
Item G, approval of the certified staff for the 2018-19 school year.
I'll make the motion. Second. Motion, second, myself and Andy. Comments? Questions? Call roll, please.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Venters?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Item H, approval of the extended day certified contracts for the 2018-19 school year.
Need a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Joelle and Corinne. Any comments, questions? Call roll, please.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Venters?
Yes. That motion is approved.
Item I, approval of the classified staff for the 2018-19 school year.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Andy and Corinne, any comments or questions? Call roll, please.
Mr. Venters? Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes, that motion is approved.
Item J, approval of the administrative staff for the 2018-19 school year.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Myself and Joellen. Comments, questions?
Well, I actually had a question on this. This is the one where I think that I would like to work on a way to do it to get the most for our effective leaders. That's just my 2 cents.
I think what you're suggesting is some type of matrix, a formula to figure out.
Well, yeah, because we discussed this obviously as a board, and I just, you know, based on the reviews that you give them, I just don't feel like it should be across the board. I don't think it should be the same for everybody. I think that it should be different according to what you've achieved for the year for your building, or for your, you know, not necessarily building for athletics or for whatever your job description entails. Just to do a blanket number, I wouldn't feel encouraged if I were doing a great job and somebody else wasn't. We got the same percentage. I don't think that's right.
And I think that's part of what we're talking about with the schedules is also
Correct.
looking at
Correct.
and how that works. So then I believe that we're going to address that next year.
Well, hopefully, yeah, I mean, because Kurt brought that up, we want to get the best we can for our district, for our staff, for our students, and the best way to do that is to encourage people to do a fantastic job. If you're doing a fantastic job, then you should be compensated fairly. And if you're not, then you shouldn't be compensated.
That's just my opinion. I think one way to achieve that also is to link it back to the evaluation. To
Yeah,
have
that's
measurable
exactly what I was
outcomes,
saying, yeah.
if they've met them, then that moves them through the matrix. That's what they're asking.
Right.
Rather than arbitrarily just a number.
Right.
And
We haven't
then-
seen
and then
anybody
having
do
those,
evaluations, so we
right,
don't know.
right.
Two of them already
We
been
don't
done.
see those.
Two of the evaluations already done. So we're proving something they haven't. We didn't finish the evaluations. So it's kind of like a blind improvement.
I think it's something we can address next year. We want to, we've delved into it this year, so definitely to add to it.
I do think it'd be very helpful to have a variety of styles and what that looks like, and I think that that's something that can be pulled.
Yeah, you can do it by days, you can do it by number of students. If you're accomplished, there's a bunch of different ways. It's something that we should work on, I think. It's worth looking at much.
I think probably starting sooner instead of later, and then also involving our administrative staff in those discussions at some point, I think is extremely helpful.
Right, I mean, basically is how is your building better today than it was a year ago? And, then we can go from there.
That's what's dependable on the
Right.
evaluation. Looking at those other variables, I think is wrong. So if you look at the evaluation, what they're working on, compensated based on their meeting their expectations. There's too many other variables. Education, number of students, all those variables are not something that we're looking at, making it to the evaluation.
Any other comments? All roll.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes?
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Thank you. Item K, approval of the following supplemental fall coaching promotions for the 2017-18 school year, pending verification of proper certification and paperwork.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Andy and Corinne. Any discussion or questions? All roll, please.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes?
Mr. Spano?
Yes. Motion is approved.
Item I, approval of the following change in contract as per the agenda.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Motion is second. Jerome and Teresa. Comments or questions?
This is just regarding a Project More situation where one of the lead teachers was on leave due to maternity, and someone else stepped in then.
Anything else? All roll, please.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes?
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Item M, approval of Eva Trossel for a .5 contract with Project More Step 0.
Make a motion.
Second?
Any questions or comments? We got a motion from Jerome and a second from Teresa. All roll, please.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes?
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Item N, approval of the following 2018 summer staff for the Stagecrafters Summer Camp as per the agenda.
Motion?
So moved.
I'll second. Discussion?
Who was in charge of this?
Well, I think it has several people that's been involved, but I asked Mr. Sagona if he might talk a bit about staffing.
Yeah, how did we decide on these people?
Well, we posted the director job
Okay.
on applicant, and 5 applicants. Is that about right, Mr. about 5 applicants. One was an internal candidate who didn't have experience running stagecrafters, who didn't have the actual experience. We had 2 applicants who had stagecrafters experience.
Any prior camp, summer camp people? Is that okay?
Yeah. One who had some media experience but nothing with theater, and one that applies for everything that was an outside candidate. And so I have spoken to the 2 with past experience. Mr. G has spoken to the internal candidate, and basically we had worked out the best solution to build the shoes that I left vacant when I stopped doing it, was to take advantage of the different skill sets that everybody afforded to the camp. The camp has had varying staffing over the years. We used a producer position in 2016 when my daughter was born. Actually, I did that role, and we used a different teacher as the camp director that year. Other years we've had vocal coaches, technical directors. It really just sort of depends on the skill set presented and available in the staffing.
How many hours is it a week?
Oh, the camp is only 2 weeks long.
Right.
There's a goodly amount of prep time before, but by the time the high schoolers show up, it's about 110 hours in 2 weeks.
Okay.
So you're talking about, these folks being paid about $12 an hour.
Right.
$10 to $12 an hour.
Go ahead.
The stipends came from taking what I had made as camp director, and because we were replacing the 2, cutting it.
Right. Well, how much, do you know how much this stipend got paid last year?
I was paid $3,100 last year to be the camp director.
Well, actually, last year it was, I believe it was $400, so I was just curious.
No, I was the camp director last year. It was $3,100.
Okay, I don't remember that.
Did you have co-directors last year?
I had assistants.
How much were your assistants?
They were high school students. They just graduated. They were paid $400. So
Yeah, that's what the 400 was.
Yeah, those were assistants.
Because
That's not.
$1,500 seems like a lot for 2 weeks of work, when last year it was 400.
I strongly encourage you to come visit the camp.
Well,
It's
no.
exhausting. But
Oh, I'm not saying that.
work. It is exhausting, and there's 110 hours put in by the team, but that's just with the high schoolers there. They leave, and then the camp director, they just keep going.
Right, and I'm not doubting that,
Yeah.
but from a fiduciary.
Sure.
From a
So the
fiduciary
funds
where
to
I
pay
said,
for these.
I'm looking at this $1,500, so I'm going $1,500 divided by 40 hours a week is $20, I'm just, well,
I understand.
that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
it's $20 an hour, and I just don't think a camp co-director should make more than our teachers. That just didn't seem right to me. So that's why I'm asking all these math numbers.
Our hourly rate for a teacher is notably higher than this. It's actually about twice per hour. What these camp co-directors keep getting paid. And all of the funds to pay the staff that's on the list for this agenda item is paid out of the same fund that stagecrafters' fees are paid into. So it's covered by the theater program.
Do you know how many students are registered in the camp this year?
I don't. I've tried to give everyone as much space as they can to excel. I do know it filled, so it's going to be 80 or more. That'd be my expectation.
I've heard 114 people are.
That is terrifying.
Is it still 200, last year it was $275 per?
No, it was 190.
190?
Yeah.
Why did I get 275? Was that this year? We read a lot of information.
Understood. Yeah,
Especially in the main board agendas.
Tried to steer clear
Yeah.
of.
It's overlong. I thought it was 275, but it was 200.
The goal was usually to keep it around $200 so that it was still manageable for parents.
Right.
But cheap enough that it didn't just replace daycare.
Right, and then what percentage of it is covered by grants? Because I know we get grants. Team is very generous always with us.
Well,
about
Tipp
half?
Foundation has actually been the one for the last decade who's funded it. I don't know that they are funding anything this year.
I believe we gave $2,000.
They are correct. Yeah, every prior year they give $2,000. Again, as I've tried not to, tried not to be too involved with it, give everyone the space they need.
Yeah.
I can't speak to that.
I would suggest that next year that we post the positions and the applications
have gotten different applications if you would have posted the job as a co-director instead of just as a camp counselor?
The job was posted as camp director, so that the co-director jobs, actually those two applicants applied with the intention that they would even do it together. So we posted that job as is. The technical director came after the fact when we examined the staff that we had and needed to find someone to do that, and the vocal director thereafter as well. Part of it is, as a theater director, finding your artistic staff is an important part of the process.
So who are your counselors this year?
I honestly could not answer that. I'm trying to be clear of that part of the process.
So counselors are different than your co-directors?
Oh, correct. Yeah, the co-directors are the ones running the camp.
I can provide an agenda list that just came in literally today, and so there's no way to put it on the agenda tonight.
And you probably will appear on the June agenda because there will be stipends for some of those graduates who will be doing that.
And I can put that in the Friday board update for this.
I just want to make sure that we advertise it well because, we don't want people saying we didn't know about it,
We've
it's
been
not fair.
stressing about it since last June, trying to figure out what are we going to do with this thing. It's such a monster project that requires so many different skill sets.
I will say there is a high expectation in our community to offer this camp. A testament to that is the enrollment that happened. I heard it was filled within hours. Going back to Dr. Hump's earlier recommendation, I think that the theatrical department should be enhanced because there's an expectation if there's 114 campers coming to this program that are 2nd through 8th grade, they're going to be entering our high school hoping for that same experience. So I would ask us as a board to be looking closely at the expectation of students who are entering in our district through the drum department, that we look at how we might enhance that department while also preserving the English language arts department and dedicating full-time teachers to that instead of dividing their duties.
Yeah, kids look forward to the camp, I know that. It's a highlight of a lot of kids' summers.
It was the highlight of my year.
Yeah, it's a very big deal, and it is a lot of work. I'm not discounting that. But in my mind, we went from $400 to $1,500. So that is why I'm asking all these questions, because a full 100% increase is a lot.
The young ladies who were going to do that co-director job were very adamant that they were not assistant directors. They know what that experience looks like. And we, back in 2016, when we tried it where I wasn't the camp director and someone else came in, the experience of having an outsider who doesn't know the stagecraft or system come in and run it rubbed a lot of the counselors the wrong way. And so that was a value we found in the staff business. We needed people who know this.
Just suggest, I think I want to be careful as a board, we're not overstepping our bounds here. A lot of this is very day-to-day operating kind of stuff. And I think it's certainly fair if you're hearing concerns from the community that make Dr. Trump aware of that and all that. But, we need to back off a little bit here and let them do their jobs. Okay? That's what
I also think we have a misunderstanding, it looks like. The director, camp director was a $31 paid position.
Right.
Split.
So it's divided by 2, correct.
So it's not a $400 position, apparently.
It was on the agenda last year, right? It was 400.
So it was a different position up. So I believe we're in line with where we have been. We've done the right thing. We split the position and got 2 people in there. And so I think this is the right direction. I would also say I concur with Andy's comments. We need to let the staff on, the administration on this.
Well, the one thing that I was concerned about is that Claire's name's on it. And I don't want there to be a projection that, that we're doing anything that is not above board. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows that this was not anything that's shady. Everything's out there. We know the process. We know why everybody was chosen and hired and why the amounts are what they are.
not the first time that we have had a board member have a person in their family employed by this district. Right? So, I mean, that's not something that every
I
time.
know, but that's my concern, making sure that people understand.
So I would like to amend the motion so that we can separate the votes, so Claire Heatherly can be voted on separately from the other recommended hires.
Yep, adding a motion right now.
Pardon me?
Adding a motion now.
The motion would be to take Claire Heatherly separated, remove her from this motion, amend the motion, remove Claire Heatherly.
She is out, and I have a,
I'll do the second.
who's first? That was Joellen.
Joellen.
Mr. Spano?
Actually, I will be the first. Joellen ought to stay out of that motion completely as well. Just for,
I'm just recommending that we amend it so we vote separately on her.
We vote on it and you just not vote?
No, I'll stay when possible.
I'll make the motion. I need a second to remove Joellen, or remove Claire Heatherly from the motion.
That's to remove her?
Remove
Or are we
her
just
from-
voting on the other three now?
Correct.
So who's our second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
All right, so motion now to amend it to remove Claire Heatherly. Right? All roll on that, please.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes. My vote's for the other three.
Correct, that's what this is.
Sorry?
This is for just those three?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's my vote.
Okay.
Now, I will make a motion to recommend Claire Heatherly for the co-director position.
Second.
Motion and second. Myself and discussion on that.
Well, I want to make a comment on your comment, Andy, regarding the day-to-day operations.
They're not applicable now.
Oh, okay.
We're moving.
I was trying to fit that in, okay.
Call roll, please.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures? Yes. Mrs. Heatherly?
Abstain.
Thank you.
That motion is approved. Moving on.
All right, and I just want to comment, there will be camp counselors, and also choreography probably next month, just so we anticipate that, for stage managers. I'm saying O, but is it changed now?
No.
Okay, item O, recommend approval of the following 2018 summer school staff as per the agenda.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Andy and Corinne, any discussion or comments?
Our agenda says summer academy, but is much more than that. It's the summer intervention, the end of course exams, the ESY, and of course summer academy as well. So that it's a variety of things. It's a lot of our summer intervention programs and support programs for our students.
Any comments? Call roll, please.
Mr. Ventures? Yes. Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes. Motion is approved.
Item E, approval of a resolution authorizing the sale of the personal property owned by the Board of Education and no longer needed for school purposes.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion and second, Joellen and Corinne. Any questions or comments?
This specifically applies to our tiny house, which will allow us then to authorize sale of the tiny house. That those funds will be then reincorporated into the construction of another project.
Do we know the appraised value? It says on the resolution, it's more than 10,000.
It's believed to be more than 10,000. There is no official appraised value.
Do we have anybody interested in buying?
I think there's been discussion on and off, but kind of in passing.
Any other questions or comments? Call roll, please.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Motion is approved.
Item Q, approval of the 2019 tax budget for the Tipp City Library.
Move.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. I have some library personnel here that would like to address the board about the budget.
Hi. Hi, I'm Asha Diaz, Fiscal Officer of the Tipp City Public Library. Thank you for letting us present today. Just some notes, we're one of the 151 school district libraries in the state of Ohio, which makes us unique. We have more than most other states. We are here today to present our 2019 budget. We continue to plan to shift to modified spending and services based on the state allocated public library funds and our community needs. We actively look for ways to offer more services to the community like Libby, Hoopla, Overdue for a Brew, outreach to the school and community groups like the Alzheimer's Association, while maintaining our current programs like book clubs and summer reading programs. Financially, we've had 2 capital improvements in 2018, a partial roof repair and an upgrade in our lighting to LEDs. The lighting upgrade will save us approximately $4,800 in electricity, labor, and light bulbs this year. Additionally, with Sister Stephen and Mr. Pfister's help, we were able to research new copier companies and saved an additional $3,000 this year. And implementing UAN, the Uniform Accounting Network, in 2017 saved us $4,000 from last year to this year in payroll. We're in the process of placing a .75 mil 5-year renewal operating levy on this November's ballot and have our regularly scheduled full audit by the state this year. This is Lisa Santucci, Director of the Library, and she's going to talk about some of our programs. Oh, and do you have any questions about the financials?
This time.
Okay.
Okay, well, I won't take a long time. I'm Lisa Santucci, I'm the director. Next, Tipp City Public Library, we're thrilled to work with the school, and my job is to make sure that we keep a connection with the school district and keep it ongoing. And we've been very successful. I think some of the things that you've seen, the art show we had at the library this year, we're hoping to have it every year at the library. Teacher collections. Summer reading starts on June 2nd. I don't know if you really understand, the moment that school is over, we are at capacity, filled with kids. A lot of kids that don't have a home in the sense to go to right away. They spend a lot of time there. And in the summer, they'll eat at the Lunch on Us, and they'll spend their day at the library with us. We're big on really helping with the summer slide. So we have a lot of programming. This year, it's music literacy and reading is our theme. We get a lot of grants to get new furniture in the teen area. And the one thing I really want to mention right now is we applied for a grant with PBS. We didn't get it, but they are at the library tonight, our local affiliate, Think TV, and they're interviewing 7 to 10 high school juniors and seniors about their favorite book, and will be on PBS in the next couple of weeks. So I look forward to working with all of you.
I just add, Tipp City Library is a great partner with us. They're very supportive and works both ways.
Any other comments, questions? Call roll, please.
Did we do a first and second on that?
We did.
I totally missed it. May I ask who did the first and second?
I'll do the first.
I did the second.
Corinne and Joellen.
Alrighty, I apologize for that. Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Item R, adoption of curriculum materials for the K-5 math to be implemented in the 2018-19 school year.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion is second, and second for Ben. Any questions, discussion?
This is the Go math that was highlighted this evening by Mrs. Souter.
Call roll, please.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes. Motion is approved.
Item S, approval of the following overnight and out-of-state trips as per the agenda.
I'll move.
I'll second.
A motion and second, Corinne and Amy. Any questions or comments? Call roll, please.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes. Motion is approved.
Item T, approval of the 2018-19 membership of the Tippecanoe High School and Tippecanoe Middle School in the Ohio Athletic Association and agree to conduct athletic programs in accordance with the Ohio High School Athletic Association, OHSAA, Constitution, bylaws, and regulations.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Motion and second, Teresa. Any questions or comments?
This is just our annual membership commitment.
This isn't anything to do with the new.
No, this
No, this
is
is
the
the
Ohio
state.
High School Athletic Association. This is not the new.
The
We've
other-
already approved that we're moving to the new league. Call roll, please.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Item U, approval to accept $15,029 in grant dollars from the Miami County Foundation.
I'll move.
Second?
A motion and second, Corinne and Teresa. I would say a special thank you again to Miami County Foundation. We are very lucky to have various foundations helping us. So this is one more case of we appreciate that.
And I'd like just to take a moment to indicate that at Devon and Broadway, they'll be receiving dollars for winter form risers for music performances, which is awesome. Ours are very dated and they pinch fingers and they're very heavy and clunky, and so these will be great. And then also there is a grant for Ron Park Academy Educator Training. We had some teachers that went to that last year, so we have one now for next project that will be attending this year. Also some art and technology iPads there at Broadway, and then at the middle school, some Google Expedition Kit science kits, that's backward science kits, and I know that there's some virtual glasses or goggles that go with that, which is wonderful. And then finally, a special education mobile coffee art project that I know has to do with entrepreneurship, but basically handling of money and just building some skills for the teachers. And then modeled it after something that they have seen and read about. So.
Well, when Brian, my brother was here a long time ago, they had like a whole store and everything. I mean, that was just really, it teaches so many awesome life skills. I think that's great that they're bringing it back.
Plus, you have to, you're talking early, you have to have it writing. It's like one for dog roads.
That's great.
So we so do appreciate the foundation.
Call roll, please.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Item B, approval of 3 handbooks, not handbags, handbooks for the 2017-18 school year for elementary, middle, and high school.
Make a motion?
Second?
Motion is second, Joanne and Teresa. Questions or comments?
A couple of things that were, I think, coordinated or highlighted in this particular revision process. One was dealing with, once again, our attendance, bringing that up because there's some new state laws. We put that in last year, but just a little bit of tweaking to some of that language about just, we kept the word safety tip line because we're really evaluating whether safe schools is the best tip line for us, but that we do want to have some kind of a process, so we kept that in there. And the third one, what might that be? Seems like there were 3 areas. Oh, dress code. We tried to really align that. We mentioned K-12 with some similarities that were developmentally appropriate at those ages, but we did do some work on that for sure. Thanks for that, Ken. And principals, do you have anything that you want to add on that?
Thank you for
coordinating all that. It's a lot of Are we getting anywhere with that texting safe schools now? Are they still not fixed?
Hopefully get back.
It's been a couple.
Been about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's actually been since spring break, but 2 weeks of.
But since-
Okay, gotcha.
Since they said that.
I'm just glad to hear we're evaluating because maybe there's a different option.
Dr. Trump and I have set
Yes.
up a timeline for
Good.
evaluation.
Yeah, perfect.
I appreciate the principals working on aligning that, so there's some cohesiveness through all the handbooks.
Yeah, they would go together and really take time to sit down and talk about it. I know that there's some additional things that we could do, but I think we're on a good path on that.
Call roll, please.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Item W, adoption of the student fee schedule for 2018-19 school year.
I'll move.
Second?
Got a motion and a second, Corinne and Teresa. Any questions, comments? Call roll, please.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes?
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Motion is approved.
Item X, approval of use of a school van by Tipp City Community Services for the school lunch on us program. Dates of use will be June 4th through August 17, 2018.
Make a motion.
Second?
Motion and a second. Corinne and Teresa. Any questions, comments?
I just did some checking today. Last summer, 6,674 lunches were served by Lunch on Us, and over since 2010, 34,204 lunches have been served. So it is a great piece, and it's wonderful that the school connects with them, and both volunteers in the community, but as well as that van is extremely helpful for delivery to the different areas.
That's a nice partnership between the school, the library, and the community services.
Call roll, please.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Item Y, approval of the pay to participate fee schedule for the 2018-19 school year.
I'll second. Andy and myself. Any questions or comments, discussion?
I've been informed that this is no increase from last year.
Call roll, please.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
That motion is approved.
And finally, item Z, approval of resolution declaring if necessary to levy a renewal tax in excess of the 10 mil limitation.
Make a motion.
Second.
The motion is second. Llewellyn and Corinne. So this is our permanent improvement levy, which is being put on the ballot for the first time in November. This is first reading. Another reading. After this goes to the county auditor, and he approves it. The change in this PI is the fact that it will be continuing rather than 5 years. So we are proposing that we make this a permanent, continuing levy rather than a 5-year levy that we would renew on a 5-year basis. The levy's been in place, we've said, for 30 years. So it's not something that we haven't been renewing. We're just trying to maybe, again, relieve some levy fatigue. It's something that we've constantly been through, and just put it in place to eliminate some costs with having to have a vote every 5 years, as well as campaigning and the rest of those kind of things. It's something that's needed. Any other comments?
I would hope that there are volunteers in the community who would be interested in working on the levy campaign.
All right, call roll, please.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes?
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
Yes. That motion is approved. Miscellaneous items on the agenda. We had a policy for College Credit Plus that is on the docket. This is first reading. We'll have vote on it at the next meeting. Got any questions or comments, give it Dr. Pump. Upcoming meetings.
Where's the policy? Is there a
Yeah, they
policy?
just give us the numbers.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Then we have to go over to the library.
Oh, gotcha.
Library, new, and
Was it on the Friday board update?
Yes, it
Okay,
was.
I thought I saw it.
Would you like to get the Friday board update again, just for ease?
Gotcha. I remember.
Yeah, okay.
It was on the Friday board.
upcoming meetings. Actually, the next assembly of this august group of Board of Directors, Board of Education is going to be at the commencement exercises for the class of 2018, which will take place on Saturday evening, May 26th at 7 p.m. in the gym at Tipp High School. The next work session is to take place on Monday, June 11th at the Board of Education office beginning at 6 p.m. And the next regular Board of Education meeting will take place on Monday, June 29th at the Board of Education beginning at 6:30. Any other new business? No, I can't read, I guess.
Yeah, it's the
I think that's
25th.
the 25th is the next regular meeting. All right, adjournment, looking for a motion to adjourn.
Second?
And a motion and a second from Joellen and Teresa. All roll please.
Mrs. Heatherly?
Yes.
Mrs. Dunaway?
Yes.
Mrs. Dahl?
Yes.
Mr. Spano?
Yes.
Mr. Ventures?
We are adjourned.